Almost 4,000 golden lancehead snakes. Find out how they got there. And if Snake Island in Brazil is truly as dangerous as it sounds in this video, you know about how many snakes are on Snake Island. Why are there so many snakes on Snake Island? Why does Snake Island so dangerous? And can you visit Snake Island? Let's talk first about the history of this island. The island is the only natural home of the critically endangered venomous buffer, UPS insularis, which has a diet of birds. The snakes became trapped on the island thousands of years ago, following the end of the last ice age, when rising ocean levels disconnected the island from the mainland. What do snakes eat? On Snake Island, there are no animals on Snake Island. They were not wiped out by the snakes. The snakes prey on ill-fated migrating birds who stop on the island to rest. The snakes wait in trees for the birds to land and have developed potent quick working venom to kill the birds before they fly away, to make matters worse for the isolated snakes. Mainland deforestation efforts resulted in fewer birds migrating to the island. There is even more competition and less food to go around for the snakes. The population could potentially drop as a result. What snake lives on Snake Island Grande is home to the Bothrops insularis, also known as the Golden Lancehead Viper. This snake is a relative of the mainland's deadliest snake. The fertilans, this snake is very noteworthy because it exists only on Snake Island. There is no other place on Earth. You can find this animal. The prevailing theory is that this species became trapped on the island after the last ice age, and at over 11,000 years ago, rising seawater immersed the land connecting Snake Island to the mainland. The golden lancet is very distinct. The snake has a light yellow and light brown color, especially on its underside. Also, the snake shares the same unique head shape as the fertilans, a long head with a point at the nose that resembles a lance's blade. How many snakes are on Snake Island? How many snakes are on Snake Island? The golden lancehead is a highly venomous pit viper, and a comprehensive study carried out in 2008 concluded that Oladaku and Mata Grande was likely home to between 2,000 and 4,000 of these bikers. While they are relatively abundant on the island, the fact they only exist here means they are considered critically endangered on the IUCN Red List. Island populations tend to be less genetically diverse because they're more likely to go through bottlenecks, which reduce genetic diversity. Genetic diversity is important, explains Robert Aldridge, a professor of biology at St. Louis University. Why are there so many snakes? Why are there so many snakes on Snake Island around 11,000 years ago? During a period known as the early Holocene, global sea levels rose by around 60 meters as a result of ice masses decaying and coastal ice streams breaking up. This rise caused Grande to separate from mainland Brazil, which meant its snakes went down a different evolutionary path in their continental cousins. The golden lancehead is an island species that appears most closely related to a mainland form, the Bothrops juraca, and it is now isolated from that species. Explains Stephen P. McCasey, a professor who specializes in evolution, ecology, and toxinology at the University of Northern Colorado School of Biological Sciences. According to McAfee, because of the small habitat of the island and abundance of birds, which are preyed to these snakes, the size, venom, and color pattern of the snakes evolve differently. Why is Snake Island so dangerous? McAfee says the golden lancehead is undoubtedly a threat to the island's birds. But what about humans? Nothing that I'd have seen suggests that the golden lancehead represents a greater risk to humans than many other species of Bothrops pit vipers, many of which grow considerably larger. McAfee says the idea that it is exceptionally deadly is most likely a myth. There is no official record of a golden lancehead biting a human. But some experts predict that the snake's hemotoxic venom could cause organ degeneration, a heart attack, muscle paralysis, or in a worst-case scenario, death to a victim. A scientist based at the Institute of Bettenton, a Brazilian biologic research facility, thinks that the viper's venom could impact the human body, the same as the genus Bothrops. Can you visit Snake Island? Even though a trip to the island does not necessarily mean danger. McAfee doesn't think tourists should visit anytime soon. I don't really think there is any reason why tourists should be able to access the island. McAfee says the habitat wouldn't endanger a trained herpetologist, but there could be accidents to the general population. According to McAfee, I extract venom from any snakes, and I have done so for over 35 years without incident, but it is still something I would avoid if there was a viable alternative, because it does involve a level of risk, says McAfee. However, Graziano believes that tourism could ultimately play a role in the golden lanceheads. Long-term survival, a smart way to protect these islands, would be to involve local people fostering tourism and the proper knowledge of the amazing biodiversity that we have.